Hi there, Russell Stratton, President and Leadership Champion with Blue Gem Learning. Over the last 25 years, I've worked with a range of organisations to improve bottom line productivity. In the last couple of vlogs, I've been talking about managing your boss. And as I've said before, this is one of the key topics that people come to talk to me about after my workshops. How do I deal with my boss? And often they've got an anecdote or story to tell me about the person they're working for. So I took this one step further recently, and we ran a competition with my colleague Ken Cameron of let's pick the worst boss that we can find. And we invited people to send in their anonymous stories. So I'd like to share 3 of them with you that I thought were pretty good contenders for the worst boss, and give you a chance to comment on them in the comment section below. So this is the first person that we're going to talk about. This was their boss who actually never spoke to the individual the whole time that they worked for them. So imagine this, they came on day 1, they were introduced to their new boss, the person said hello to them, they showed them to their desk, and that was it. For the next 2 years, they virtually had no conversation with them at all. None. Emails? Yes. Face-to-face conversation? No, even though the person was only in the about 2 cubicles away from them. The only time they had a conversation with them was when that person put their resignation letter in and left. And they said, "Oh, why are you leaving?" Can you imagine that? Working for somebody for 2 years and you've only actually had a face-to-face conversation with them twice? I couldn't believe it, but it was true. So that was our first person. The second one that we had was a boss who just didn't want to deal with the subjects at all. So our employee had an overtime claim. They came into their boss and they handed it into them, "Here's my overtime form," and the person looked at it, they just crunched it up into a ball and they threw it in the waste paper basket and said, "I'll deal with that later." Undeterred, they came back again with a second version that they handed to them. And guess what? Their boss did it again, screwed it up into paper and threw it across in the waste paper basket. They'd even sent them an emailed version electronically, still nothing. And after 3 months, they were still waiting to get paid. It actually took 3 attempts, further attempts, to actually get this paid, where they went above their boss's head and go and speak to their boss with an opportunity to actually get this overtime paid. Can you imagine that? Just screwing up a piece of paper in front of somebody and casting it into the waste paper bin. Pretty bad. Okay, the last one that we had was somebody who would regularly just walk into the workplace, and they worked in retail, so they would have this set up, the displays in the shop ready for opening. And if he didn't like what he saw, wouldn't just say to people, "Hey, I'm not too keen on that, could we change this, could we change that?" Would just fly into this rage and just be pulling down the displays and throwing things across the shop, screaming, "Oh, do it again," cowering his employees into submission. So there we are, 3 true stories. The boss that would go into a rage and throw things around the store. The boss that would go and crumple up his employee's overtime sheet and just throw it into the waste paper bin. And the boss that never spoke to their employee for 2 years. I'll let you decide who's the worst boss. Put your comments below and I'll see you next time.